Hello, in this video lecture, I discuss procedural detail for limit test of sulfate. That is, in this video lecture, I discuss as well as elaborate the procedural detail or the required procedural protocol to be followed for limit test of sulfate. So, as in case of limit test of chloride, we prepared simultaneously two solutions, that is a test solution and a standard solution in two different Nessler's cylinder. Here also, in limit test of sulfate, we will prepare the test as well as standard solution in two different Nessler's cylinder and further compare turbidity produced by the test to the turbidity produced by the standard solution in order to know the outcome or in order to know the result for limit test of sulfate. So, as we require two different solutions, that is test solution as well as standard solution, so I here tabulated a comparative procedural detail which is required for the preparation of test solution and standard solution. So, very first, I discuss the procedural detail or the procedure required to prepare the test solution, and after test solution, I discuss the procedure required for preparing standard solution. So anyhow, the required procedure to prepare the test solution is as follows. The sample or the desired sample which to be tested for limit test of sulfate must be properly prepared so as to get the final result error free. Unless until required or unless until any treatment of the sample according to its physiochemical characteristic is required, or unless until it is required, the sample is prepared or dissolved in requisite amount of distilled water, which is here is 10 ml. So anyhow, in order to prepare the sample or in order to dissolve the sample, 1 gram of sample is initially dissolved in 10 ml of distilled water, or the sample is prepared as per the procedure given in the monograph. And wherever it is required, the sample must be pre-treated before its exposure to the limit test of sulfate. So anyhow, as per this procedure, we here dissolve 1 gram of sample in 10 ml of distilled water, or we prepare the sample as per given in the monograph. So once the sample is prepared in 10 ml of distilled water, or once the sample is dissolved in the 10 ml of distilled water, it must be transferred into Nessler's cylinder, in which this test or the limit test of sulfate which has to be performed. So once the sample is transferred to the Nessler cylinder, further in step 2, we have to add carefully 2 ml of dilute hydrochloric acid. So here the step 2 must be done with utmost care, although the acid which we are handling here, or the acid which is handled or transferred in step 2, although it is dilute one, instead it must be carefully transferred into the Nessler cylinder, and its net quantity is 2 ml. After addition of acid, that is dilute hydrochloric acid, distilled water quantity sufficient 45 ml has to be transferred to the Nessler cylinder, and here it must be noted that here we not have to add 45 ml of distilled water, rather the distilled water added quantity sufficient or up to the 45 ml, which is calculated after reducing the quantity of step 1 or step 2, not or, after reducing the net volume of step 1 and the step 2, and hence further we have to add distilled water quantity sufficient to 45 ml, and finally 5 ml of barium sulfate reagent has to be added to the sample. The content is then stirred gently and kept aside for 5 minutes, and then the turbidity or opalescence so produced by the test solution is compared with the turbidity or opalescence which is produced by the standard solution in order to rule out the exact result. So, the preparation of sample solution for limit test of chloride is not a tedious procedure, and by following the step from 1 to 5, the sample can be prepared without any hindrance. So once we are done with the preparation of test solution or the sample solution, the next step is to prepare the standard solution, which is having a standard turbidity which has to be compared, or to which the sample turbidity has to be compared in order to rule out the result for limit test of sulfate. So the standard turbidity in standard solution is obtained by preparing a solution of 0.1089% weight by volume of potassium sulfate. And once this standard solution of this particular concentration, that is 0.1089% weight by volume or W by V, is prepared, from that solution 1 ml is taken and suitably transferred to the Nessler's cylinder. Now after step 1, 2 ml of dilute hydrochloric acid is passed or transferred to the Nessler cylinder carefully. And once we are done with the step 2, distilled water quantity sufficient to 45 ml has to be added to the Nessler's cylinder. Now again, in step 3, we have to transfer distilled water, or we have to transfer distilled water which is quantity is equivalent to 45 ml or equals to 45 ml. We here doesn't have to transfer the net quantity of 45 ml of distilled water to the Nessler's cylinder, and the required or the requisite quantity for step 3 is obtained by reducing the net quantity or the net volume of the solution after reducing the step 1 and step 2 of the standard solution, so as we can get the net quantity which is required here, or the net volume of distilled water which is required to produce a net volume of 45 ml. So once the step 3, or we are done with the step 3, 5 ml of barium sulfate reagent is added to the standard solution, and the content is stirred gently with a clean glass rod and kept aside for few minutes the turbidity or opalescence which is here produced by the standard solution is further compared in order to rule out the result for limit test of sulfate. So once we are done with the test solution as well as standard solution, in order to know the outcome of limit test of sulfate, the turbidity has to be compared, or the turbidity of test solution has to be compared with the turbidity produced by the standard solution. And according to that compared turbidity is our result. So I here further discuss the result analysis or the outcome for limit test of sulfate. So in order to make the things bit more easier and to explain the net outcome of limit test for sulfate, I here depict the test and the standard by English capital alphabet T and S, where the T indicates test solution and S is for standard solution. And likewise I here marked the another pair of Nessler cylinder with T and S, that is T is stand for the test solution and S stand for the standard solution. So let us see the very first case. So here we can see here that the turbidity produced, or both the solution, that is test solution and the standard solution, have turbidity, and here the turbidity produced by the test solution is more intense than the turbidity produced by the standard solution, which is having a known quantity of impurity based turbidity or opalescence. So when we compare the test with the standard, in this case we here find out that the total turbidity produced by the test solution is greater than the turbidity produced by the standard, and as in this case the standard has less turbidity and the test has more turbidity, and the turbidity is directly proportional to the impurity. So we can here say that the impurity present in the standard solution is less, however the impurity present in the test solution is more. So as we are taking the net concentration of impurity present in the standard solution as a standard or within a permissible limit, so when we are comparing the turbidity produced by the standard with the test, we here find out that as test contain more impurity, as it has more turbidity, and because of this the overall outcome for this particular solution or for this particular sample, that is test, is the test fails the result. And why here test fails the result? Because the test have greater impurity and hence more turbidity compared to the standard one, where the standard have a permissible limit of impurity. So let us look into the next case. So here also I have depicted the two Nessler cylinders and the two solutions diagrammatically, where the T indicate for the test and the S indicates for the standard solution. So now when we are comparing the turbidity in this case, we here find out that the standard have more turbidity than the test solution. So accordingly, as the turbidity is directly proportional to the net quantity of impurity, and as the standard have permissible quantity of impurity within it, so when we are comparing the turbidity of standard with the test, we here find out that the turbidity produced by the test is less, and hence the test contain less quantity of impurity compared to the standard, which is containing the permissible quantity of impurity and hence turbidity. So accordingly here, as the test have less turbidity or opalescence compared to the standard, the overall outcome for this particular limit test of sulfate is the test passes the limit test of sulfate. And why this particular set for the limit test of sulfate passes, or the why here the test passes the limit test of sulfate, because the turbidity produced here by the test solution or by the test sample is well within the limit, as we can see here by comparing that test have a less turbidity and hence impurity compared to the standard which is having the greater or the more degree of turbidity comparatively. So in this case, the test or our sample solution passes the limit test of sulfate.